Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are taking a look at another of these Dinomania figures, and this one is their Brachiosaurus. It has a very strong Jurassic Park feel. I feel like a lot of the figures that they release have a tendency to be influenced from the Jurassic Park films, and that's not exactly a bad thing, especially if you are a fan of the Jurassic films like I am. So having a very cool looking Jurassic Park style Brachiosaurus, in my opinion, is awesome. The paint application is even sort of kind of what you would see on a Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus. Not really the tones, but it's got that very similar kind of a dark coloration, except you've got brown here as opposed to gray on the Brachiosaurus in the film. But honestly, it looks really, really nice at first glance, but the only way to really tell how nice is to get a close look, so let's do that right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Brachiosaurus, again you can really tell that it definitely has a very strong Jurassic Park feel, especially when you look at it from the front. Now you can really see it has that very beautiful Jurassic Park feel as far as the sculpting of the head sculpt goes and the skull shape. You can see that the Brachiosaurus is posed with its mouth open. You can also see that the teeth are actually painted inside the mouth, as well as the inside of the mouth in general. You can see the tongue sticking out there, and you can almost see a little bit of a slight gloss, helping to add a little realism to the figure right there. You can see also that the snout of the Brachiosaurus and the lower jaw are like a light brown, and then transitions to a nice dark brown up here on the top of the head. It definitely has a very realistic appearance as far as the paint application goes, but also includes that nice dark wash so that all the cracks and crevices stick out like a sore thumb and really shine through the detail and sculpt quite nicely. The eye is actually painted with a nice blackish coloration, but this is the first figure that they've released that I have here that does not have that glass eye effect to it, so it's a little different, a little unique as far as this one goes in comparison to the previous releases. You can see that the detail in the skin texture as we start to run down the neck really does look quite nice. Lots of cracks and crevices going on in the skin as we lead down that very long Brachiosaurus neck. It gets nice and wide the further you get to the base of the neck, like you would expect, and now you can really see just kind of like the musculature of the neck tensing and everything. You can also see up here kind of the spinal column running down along the animal, and again the creasing in the skin looks quite nice. The skin texture overall looks really, really good, and also again has a very similar appearance to a Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus. You can take note to the shoulder blade there, as well as some incredibly nice muscle tone here in the front leg as we lead down the leg. Again, nice variations of brown and everything included. Looks very realistic as far as the coloration goes because it has, again, that nice dark wash, but also numerous variations of brown included, giving it a very beautiful appearance as far as skin tone. You can also see some of the chest muscles kind of flexing and jumping out at you there. As we move down to the foot, you can see the foot sculpt of the Brachiosaurus here in the front. You can also see that the nails are painted with like a light brown. They do look really quite nice. Again, you can see some beautiful variations of brown here, like lighter and then darker right here. I love the way that Dinomania paints their figures because they always have so many different variations of color included. Really nice kind of skin wrinkling and everything going on right here, showing the movement of the Brachiosaurus, even though it's primarily in a very neutral position, but you can see that really quite nicely right there. Beautiful detailing as we move along the body, nice skin texture in the stomach. It is painted with a light brown type of a coloration there in the stomach region. You can start to see some more beautiful detailing here on the thigh of the rear leg. As we move down, you can see the kneecap is present right there, and we get down to this very nice foot sculpt on the rear foot. Nicely painted nails once again. Lots of cracks and crevices all over the place as far as the skin texture goes, really allowing that dark wash to shine through. And then we move out the tail. The tail continues to have those really nice creases throughout the skin texture. And again, the nice browns, the variations of brown shining through quite beautifully. And the tail is actually pretty long on the Brachiosaurus. I just kind of bent it right there. But again, you can see the tail definitely has some pretty decent length, and I think it looks quite nice. Being that the Brachiosaurus is in a totally neutral position, the opposing side is pretty much the same as what we saw on the initial side. All the same style of color, same style of sculpt. It all looks really good from this side as well as the previous side. Again, if you're looking for an accurate Brachiosaurus, this is not probably going to be your guy, but if you're looking for a really cool, very nicely detailed, large kind of Jurassic Park style Brachiosaurus, this definitely could be your guy, because personally I think he looks really quite cool. Now, as far as the size goes, and this is going to be very difficult because of how tall this Brachiosaurus is, to show it to you, to show you the size, but if we go to the top of the head, it is about 15 inches or around 38 centimeters to the top of the Brachiosaurus. And then for a length, if we go from the head to the tail, you are going to see it at about 23¼ inches or 59 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon, next to our much larger Brachiosaurus, which you can really see just how much larger. It almost looks like the Rex and the Brachiosaurus might scale similarly to how they would in Jurassic Park, but you can definitely see that this Brachiosaurus is absolutely massive in comparison to these three figures, and shockingly, it's actually one of the smaller Dinomania figures as far as overall body mass goes, but even still, at being one of the smaller figures, it's really, really quite large. And I think next to these figures, you'll hopefully have a good idea of that. So this Dinomania Brachiosaurus is really, really nice. Probably inspired by Jurassic Park, like I had stated a few times, because it really does have a very strong Jurassic Park feel to it, especially when it comes to just the head sculpt alone. I feel like that head sculpt really has that Jurassic Park look to it, but even the body itself has a really nice Jurassic Park feel. I think the sculpting of the body overall looks really, really good. Nice kind of neutral pose for the Brachiosaurus, just standing there with its feet completely in the same position on both sides. So it almost looks like it's standing here posing for a mug shot or something, but I really do think that the overall pose is pretty nice because there's not really probably too much that you can do with a Brachiosaurus, so a nice neutral pose is always a good thing when it comes to that species. I think that the sculpt as far as the skin texture and everything goes does look really quite nice, has quite the realistic appearance to it, that's for sure. I almost want to repaint one of these Brachiosaurus figures just because I feel like the detailing on it is so nice, it could really look quite awesome with the Jurassic Park paint scheme on it. Even still, the actual paint that Dino World has applied to it looks very nice, very natural. They chose to go with a brown for the majority of the body and then kind of like a yellowish brown in the stomach and the underside of the dinosaur, and I think it does come off really well, very natural looking, definitely the type of paint scheme, or I guess I could say color scheme, I could expect to see on a real living sauropod, so the color choices were nice as well. It's the first figure, as far as the Dino World figures, that do not include that kind of glass eye effect on the face, but I actually think it still looks really quite nice. The eye is nicely elaborated. As far as the dark black paint they've used, has kind of a gloss coat to it as well to help it shine a little bit. So I think they did do a really good job overall on this Brachiosaurus, and definitely a very nice ode to the Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus for sure. So if you would like to pick this up, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on the Dinomania website. Again, the price you will see on the website will be in Mexican dollars, so you're going to have to translate that to US dollars or wherever you are from exactly. They do ship worldwide, so you have no issues there. Make sure you place an order for this or one of the other figures we have reviewed so far, and also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.